Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you trending business news from around the continent this week, courtesy Footprints to Africa. I'm Mike Mesikeno. It's great to have you once again on the show. Let's take a look at the highlights for this week. Japan to increase participation at Lagos International Trade Fair in bid to improve trade ties with Nigeria. African Development Bank secures $500 million credit insurance with Africa Trade Insurance Agency. Nigeria and Huawei partner for second phase of ICT for Change program. South African president seeks new investment pledges to revive the economy. South Africa's Bidvest tank terminals and Petrodec launch construction of $70 million LPG facility. And now the news in details. As part of moves to improve trade relations with Nigeria, the Japan External Trade Organization revealed that more Japanese investors have announced plans to increase their participation at the Lagos International Trade Fair scheduled to hold in November 2018. According to the Trade Commissioner and Managing Director of JETRO, Shigeyo Nishizawa, the move was a reflection of the belief and commitment Japanese companies have in Nigeria. He said the number of the Japanese affiliated companies in Nigeria increased by 4 in 2016 and by 1 in 2017 despite the recession. Nishizawa said this shows that nothing has changed as regards the huge potential of Nigeria and how strongly Japanese companies are eager to tap into this lucrative market. However, during a press briefing in Lagos, Nishizawa noted that Nigeria's import from Japan in 2017 slightly decreased by 1.6% to $320.8 million, while export to Japan decreased by 7.5% to $783.1 million. He explained that the trade decline between Japan and Nigeria from 2015 to 2017 was as a result of decreased natural gas import, slim harvest of sesame seeds in Nigeria, and weak demand for some goods. The African Development Bank and Africa Trade Insurance Agency have announced the successful completion of a $500 million credit insurance deal. The deal is structured to cover a portion of AFDB's portfolio of non-sovereign operations in Africa. The ATI will be the direct insurer facing the African Development Bank, but the transaction, which is expected to encourage similar institutions to invest more on the continent in the future, will involve the participation of a number of Lloyd's and company private reinsurers who will share the risk on African financial institutions. The deal will help many insurance companies operating outside Africa to participate in the financing of development of the continent for the first time. It will cover approximately 22% of the bank's $2.3 billion outstanding non-sovereign financial sector portfolio. The insurance was specifically designed to protect the AFDB against the non-payment of loans made to approximately 30 African financial institutions. Huawei Technologies and the federal government of Nigeria have signed a memorandum of understanding to implement the second phase of the Information Communication Technology for Change program. Speaking at the MOU signing in Abuja, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, said the partnership is an example of the Nigerian government's commitment to partner with private sector organizations in order to drive the implementation of its policies and programs. Mustafa said the signing of the MOU signifies the commencement of the second phase of the program to train and empower 1,000 federal civil servants in capacity building. It's a further demonstration of a strengthening of the existing partnership between government and the private sector, represented by Huawei Technologies. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who seeks to get the economy out of recession before next year's election, will strive to get billions of dollars of new spending pledges from foreign investors and local firms at an investment summit. Ramaphosa wants $100 billion of new investment over the next 5 years. Currently, he has secured pledges for around $35 billion, mainly from China, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. The president has made reviving the economy a top priority since taking over from Jacob Zuma, but his goals have been hampered by severe fiscal constraints. President Ramaphosa revealed that the investment summit will discuss opportunities in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and energy. He said as an investment destination, South Africa has what it takes to compete. The investment summit comes after a job summit organized in early October 2018, where Ramaphosa announced a wide-ranging set of deals between government, big business, and labor, which he said would create 275,000 more jobs a year. A unit of Bidvest Group, South Africa's Bidvest Tank Terminals and liquefied petroleum gas firm Petrodec, unveiled the construction of a $70 million LPG import and storage facility in Richards Bay, north of Durban. In a joint statement, BTT and Petrodec said the 22,600-ton facility will significantly increase the supply of LPG to South Africa and allow for exports of the fuel to neighboring countries. As a result of constrained domestic supply and a lack of sufficient import and storage capacity, the South African per capita usage of LPG is lower than in many equivalent economies, even when it's preferable to paraffin or wood as fuel for heating and cooking. According to Petrodec's director Lee Furby, Petrodec's ships which trade, transport, store, and distribute LPG to industrial, commercial, and domestic users have had to incur costs while packing outside the harbor for months because of the lack of sufficient storage facilities in South Africa. Enterprise Group, the biggest insurer in Ghana, says it's planning a strong entry into the Nigerian insurance market. Group Chief Executive Officer Kelly Gatsekbo said, "Our dream is to enter the Nigerian market very soon. We are making progress on that. We have the money and very soon we will finish the transaction and let the public know about it. What I can say is that you should be watching this space very well." The group is expecting a strong entry with the life insurance business, then the rest will follow later. Mr. Gatsekbo spoke at the Ghana Stock Exchange's Facts Behind the Figures series in Accra. Enterprise Group, which comprises Enterprise Insurance Company, Enterprise Life, Enterprise Trustees Limited, Enterprise Properties, and Enterprise Funeral Service, in the 2017 financial year recorded a total net income of 543 million Ghanaian cedis and had total assets at about 1 billion Ghanaian cedis. On that note, we draw the curtains on this week's episode of Africa in 10 minutes. Let's take a recap of the stories. Japan to increase participation at Lagos International Trade Fair in bid to improve trade ties with Nigeria. African Development Bank secures $500 million credit insurance with Africa Trade Insurance Agency. Nigeria and Huawei partner for second phase of ICT for Change program. South African president seeks new investment pledges to revive the economy. South Africa's Bidvest Tank Terminals and Petrodec launch construction of $70 million LPG facility. You can send in questions, make comments, and keep up with the news on our various social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, connect with us on LinkedIn, and follow us on Twitter. Visit www.footprint2Africa where these stories were called from. Footprint to Africa, business news made in Africa, by Africans, for Africa.